Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Joe Matarese is here, Fixin' Joe. Check it out. Web series. And that's the name of his podcast as well. How many podcasts have you done now? Done a ton.
165.
I
have.
Really?
I think I'm
Episodes,
on 4.
not.
Wow.
I think you did 4.
I think I'm on 3 or 4 of them.
You still get the most downloads. Like episodes from like 9 months ago.
Really?
Well, yeah, they still
Well,
get
who's the
downloaded.
most famous guy you've had on there?
Maybe Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Ferguson did it for you.
Let me think who else.
He's a good guy, right? You have a relationship with him. Where you did a show, you always do
I don't have a relationship with him anymore. I don't know. He
you
just
don't?
faded off the planet on
Really?
me. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. L.A. people
That's one of
just
those-
disappear,
It
don't
is
they?
one of those show business stories where it's like, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
I opened for him a bunch of times. I had meetings with
That's
his.
right. You
I had meetings with his production company. I thought I had a sold show. I was like, we definitely have a sold show.
Right.
3 meetings. Go right, and I'm ready to turn in what I wrote. Can't get no one on the phone.
You can't get someone on the phone.
It's just like nothing. And
Fascinating.
I'm like, well, can I just open for him a couple times? Again, maybe we'll.
What other business operates like that?
So weird.
It's not dignified show business. It isn't. Like what happened there? You know.
You never find out either.
Because people are so sensitive. You never know. Maybe you insulted them in some
I don't
crazy
think
way.
so. I don't think so because he fired his opening act that was
yeah?
before me, and what I was told.
Why?
I don't know. They were getting too close. That's what I heard. They're getting too close. He was going in private jets with this one guy who was open for him, and then something weird happened. They had an outs on their friendship, and then I was told that he doesn't want to use one opener anymore.
kidding.
He doesn't want anyone becoming his buddy. I'm like, all right.
First of all, who is he? Elvis? Greg Ferguson?
That's what it felt like.
People barely know who he is.
It was weird. I thought we were hitting it off. We were at the Four Seasons Hotel in Florida. I'm like, oh man, I think I'm becoming best friends
Well,
with
it
Craig
sounds
Ferguson.
like you got too close.
Maybe I did.
You got too close, man. He's in private jets. How annoying is that?
That's what Artie does with his openers. Once they get too close, he's like, I got to grab me a new.
Exactly.
I need a new.
I change that all around all the time. Like I'm always changing the laundry.
Intimacy issues.
Right.
That's-
People
seems
get
like
too
that's-
close to me on the private jet on the way to the game. If we stopped 10 people outside and asked them who Greg Ferguson was, 2 would know who he is.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, who knows who Greg Ferguson is? He's on there because he's non-threatening to Letterman. Letterman doesn't like anybody he likes having someone who's non-existent after him, you know, who kind of is never going to go anywhere. And he's not going to go anywhere with that shtick of, like, not writing anything down. And
You know what I just had happen, and I don't know if this is true, and you might know. Artie's like my secret comedy mentor. He's my guy. He's my Miyagi
That's
for comedy
not true.
questions.
That's not true.
It's true. It's true. I was all
You have the best observations about me than anyone I've ever known. But honestly, I mean, you stun me with them sometimes. And when you bring one of them up, especially women in my life, they always go, and he's right. He's right.
No, I'm not.
And
I don't want to be that guy.
the one time when we did Howard together, you came on Howard, and that was your whole thing. Like, I got a thing with Artie when I call him on the phone.
Yeah.
And even Howard, Robin, they all agreed completely with it. I'm like, oh,
Well,
Jesus.
everyone in the world knows that about you, Artie. It's become
What?
everybody.
What was that?
You know.
What? What, the phone?
Well, it wasn't the phone. It was more like, sometimes, Artie's like, let's hang. And other times he's like, I'm staying in my house for a week and a half.
It's called being a drug addict.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, sometimes, you were reclusive. That's the word, right?
Yeah. I wish that was because I was a genius.
So here's my comedy question. I was all excited because this is the first time in my comedy career I kind of had a connection with every one of the late night television show bookers.
Okay.
Because I've done Letterman a couple times, so I'm kind of in with the Letterman guy.
Yeah.
Now, the guy who booked me on Letterman the second time just went over to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. So I was like, oh, this is great.
Oh, no kidding.
Now I have a guy at the Tonight Show, and then the guy who booked me on Craig Ferguson is booking Seth Meyers' late night talk show. So I was like, I got somebody in every spot.
And plus, there's guys in New York, like the Tonight Show's in New York.
Yeah, so
it's a major thing for comics here.
So I was all excited, and then someone yesterday said that they read on the internet somewhere that some of the shows are putting a stronghold up. Like if you do the Tonight Show, then you're not going to be able to do Letterman anymore.
We have to talk off the air.
Oh, really? Okay. Did I just burn a bridge in my career?
No.
You're my comedy mentor. Is that something I shouldn't have brought up on radio?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's interesting.
Everybody knows
I
that,
did
though, right?
I did the Tonight Show 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It went really well, and you know, some people in my life have talked to me. I'll talk to you.
Oh, all right, we'll talk about it.
But no,
But as a
let me put it to
stand-up-
you this way: from what I've heard, and this hasn't come from anybody at the Tonight Show, it hasn't come from people at these shows. I'm talking about representatives of mine who I would trust. In that world, I think your paranoia might be correct.
Okay.
That's
As a
what I mean.
I thought maybe as a stand-up it was different than as a guest.
No,
Like-
it depends on the guest. Like, I mean, I'm able to go and sit on the couch, but I'm not an A-lister. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they could probably. I'm a kind of guy where they could say, look, they could strong arm me a little bit like a comic, even though I'm allowed to bypass the stand-up part at this point.
All right. How about if it's in a later time slot? Like, can't you do one? You
What
could
do
be
you-
the Tonight Show 11:30
That
guy,
I think
and then
they're
do
okay.
a different
Yeah, they might
12:30 guy.
They might say, look, just do my 11:30 show or just
Right.
my 12:30 show.
Yeah, that would make no sense that they could push you
think-
away from a different time slot.
Like if you did Seth Meyers, I don't think you'd have a problem doing Kimmel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're one's 11:30, one's 12.
It's funny. If all the shows were listening right now, they'd be like, "We're not having you on any of our shows. Like, what are you talking about?"
Listen, we're lucky. If my cousins are listening. So don't worry about it. I think
I love your
put it this way:
cousins.
we should talk. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
From what I've heard. But
Joe.
I got the Tonight Show is a beautiful.
Artie's
place.
uncle said he's never having you on again.
Dan looks like you have a question. I love Artie's uncles. I wish they had
know
up their
them.
own talk show. They're at every gig. You can't go to an Artie show without his uncles being in the green room.
If it's in St. Louis.
They'll go. They'll show up.
What are you doing as far as road is concerned? Are you doing a lot of the road?
Well, I met with an agent.
Right.
I'm hoping that goes through. Oh
What
my
do you mean?
God.
Like, what-
A road agent. Like I met with them.
And
And
why did you the guy you had?
they're ready to sign me, but you wonder, when you have this fixing Joe thing, I could go with an agent who's going to book me all over the road, or do I?
Or you pursue that?
Well, some friends say, screw the fish, go for the whale, which
I
is
hear
selling
you.
the TV show. So which agent do you want? The guy that can book you at every funny bone in the country and keep your kids eating? Or do you go for the whale?
Well, look, that's the thing about this business. Why can't you go with the funny bone guy, and then if something happens with the other thing, just blow off the funny bone?
But you need I'm saying some agents are better at selling a TV show, but they're not as good at booking you all over on the road.
Why make them separate? They're separate agents.
You could
There's
have
guys
two?
who are just. I have two.
Well, this is an across the
He
board
wants
agency.
he wants everything. He
Yeah.
wants you stand up. Then I wouldn't go with him because again, it's funny we're talking. That's how long we've been doing this for.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
But anyway, decade. No, and it's funny. Every once in a while, you have this conversation. I think you should go for guys who say, "This is stand up." Like I have Rich Super. I love him.
Yeah,
He's
there's
my
not
stand-
many of
he's
those
not, He's not
guys.
interested in selling a sitcom.
That's all he does is the road.
Right,
There's
yeah.
not many of those guys.
There's not many left.
Most
there
of these
were.
companies they do everything. The Gersh and the
Yeah.
UTAs and the
So, but how do they?
I don't know what's the other one. APA. All those agencies,
APA
they
is
do
big,
everything.
Right, big with personal opinion.
Yeah.
But you would.
And I view myself as an actor now that I've
listen,
done a web series.
At this point, I would try to. At this point, I would try to go with someone who could sell the show. That's what I would do.
Really?
Yeah. Who's better at that?
But yeah.
I know you're thinking income, but they got to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're known around the country as a guy who does the clubs.
Not really. It's brutally hard out there for me to keep the calendar full.
Yeah.
It's every year when I do my taxes. Oh my God, I'm like, that's it. That's all I made. Wow. Why do I have bags under my eyes? That's it. My wife doubles my income. I mean, she doubles it.
Well, you're a winner in life. That means to
It
me.
sucks.
I don't know.
I
The
got-
stand-up world is. It seems like there's stand-ups are breeding at a pace they never have before. There's so many of them.
Thank God for the residual money, and you and I talk about that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just pumping out the CDs now, because
Right,
thank God for that.
The sound exchange is great.
I love you, Sound Exchange.
The checks are amazing.
Dude, mine fluctuate though.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're double.
I think everybody does.
Yours too?
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I have a bad month? What happened? What did Sirius?
Where do you get most? Do you get most of it from request stuff?
Oh,
think,
it doesn't show you where. It's mostly Sirius XM. That's all you know. That's why I know some comedians are going to do a totally clean set so they can play it on every one of their stations.
I don't, and I know a lot of comics, all comics like you that are good comics and everything who get a lot of money from those things. Are there channels that just play stand up 24/7? There has to. There's got to be a few of them then for a lot of people to get a little.
Even the Raw Dogs, which is the dirty comedy channel, like they don't. They'll have an hour here and an hour there where they have some sort of talk show, but it's mostly just stand-up clips. Yeah. So what the other thing is you can do is there's this, I don't know if you know about it, but I do because I have to run my whole business, so you have representation for a lot of stuff. TuneCore, you can you put your whole CD up, right? And you see where the residuals are coming in, which is a lot of it now is like Pandora and Spotify and all that. So what you can do is you start putting yours in more markets. You pay more money per year to have it in more stores, as they say. So I'm not just in iTunes US. I'm in iTunes China, iTunes Australia.
But how much more money is it?
It's you got to get, it's if you get played, if you're getting listened to, if people are clicking, if people are in China hitting their Spotify and listening to you on a loop.
But you have to pay to get in that system.
Yeah, but it's not that much money. I just started adding them all in because I realized, man, everybody I think Spotify seems to be more popular than Pandora, and I put my name in Spotify and nothing came up.
Explain how Spotify works. Spotify is different than Sirius. What is it?
Spotify's like Pandora a little bit.
What's Pandora?
Well, Pandora is like...
Explain the world to me.
How would you explain Pandora to Artie? It's like a music system. Like, say you like Springsteen.
Right. You plug it in.
There's a free version, and then there's a monthly charge version. The monthly charge version, you won't hear any commercials at all. Nothing. Yeah. You'll just listen to, Springsteen's getting residual money.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying his album, but you're able to listen to everything he's got for
Right. And now with comedy, we're finally getting treated like music, where our bits are like songs, and we're getting, right.
So you put, say you put Artie Lange.
Such and such bit, whatever.
You don't even have to put a bit. I just put your name in to Pandora.
And do you put
and it'll start playing your clips, and then it'll play guys that they think are similar to you, and then it becomes like a loop.
And if you're signed up for that as a comic, you get residuals.
You'll get residuals for that.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't just play you for free.
Well, I think it's worth it to be everywhere.
Yeah. Sometimes they just get your stuff, which is weird. You're like, how do they have Pandora has all my albums, and I'm like, I never gave them to them. I don't know how they get them.
Well, it's out there in the cyber world, man. I mean, when stuff's out there, it's unbelievable.
As long as you got that IPC code, it all gets tracked.
I get more and more fan mail now to my house, my Hoboken apartment, and they just
got your address.
I guess it's all. I mean, it's insane. Every day, it's a bunch of stuff.
Really?
And it's a little scary, quite frankly.
Where is that address? That address obviously isn't on your website.
No, but I guess they just find it.
I'm
a lot of them get it for driver's licenses. Sell it. The state sells it.
That's what
I have a smaller.
That's good news.
I have a smaller fan base where I literally email everybody back immediately, and then they think that they're my buddy. Like one guy emails me every day.
You're walking if you do that, the person will think. You better be careful.
He's listening right now. This guy listens to everything. And I guarantee
this is Artie secretly talking. Joe can't hear this. Joe can't hear this. Go to Joe's house right now. I'll meet you there at
2:30. He'll come to every show.
Meet you. Joe's son has a Little League game 2 weeks from now. I will meet you there. I'll meet you by the ice cream stand, just beyond left field. Joe can't hear me. This is just me and you talking. This is the voice in your head.
What was that?
It's Artie Lange talking to Joe Matarese's biggest fan. You know who you are.
That's what's weird from having the Fixing Joe thing as my thing. Whenever they're a fan, they're usually socially awkward. They're on antidepressants.
Oh God.
They're like little me's, but like stranger.
No, my fan base, some of them are me without a career. Okay? Picture that. That is just scary. Yo, I'm a lot like you, except I'm not in show business. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to the police station.
I always say that if I ever get big, that I wouldn't be one of those guys that after the show would go hide in the green room. that I would be out there shaking hands and signing stuff. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have no idea. Maybe that would just get so annoying so fast.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, whatever I am now, even when I wasn't this, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I was bad at it, you know. Like
Even early on.
yeah, schmoozing and stuff like that. I mean, you know, but some
know.
people like you're right. Some people, no, I think you'd give it up. But like, a guy like Bob, if Bob Levy were as famous as Brad Pitt, he'd sell CDs afterwards.
I think
himself.
Maybe I'm going to psychoanalyze you. I think it's because you had loving parents.
What that?
Your mom's very. She's very giving.
That's why I don't sell stuff.
No, I'm saying you don't need that extra that I need.
Well, you do it for money or the extra attention?
I like the extra attention.
Oh, well, that's
I'm
dude.
insane.
We gotta talk.
I like it.
The extra,
I like
the extra
walking around and like,
after
hey.
gigs, Joe. After the stress of doing stand up, you
Yes.
like doing that more?
Oh my God!
God,
I think
we
I
gotta-
like it better than the performance.
We have to talk. Let's take a break. We'll be back into this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.